Assalamu alaikum. It is springtime officially here in Jordan. We're about to miss the blossoms, like they're just falling off the trees now. I'm going to tell you guys in this video where you need to go this spring for all of the most beautiful scenes, because springtime really is the most magical time to visit Jordan. So, Jordan is known for basically three main tourist spots. You've got Wadi Rum, Petra, and of course the Dead Sea. And I always think of those as the tourist trifecta. Those are the places that tourists always try to hit. Excuse me! Can you stop? But what people forget, because maybe they're not as Instagrammable or they're not as kind of out of this world as those three locations, there are other places that they are really remarkable for their ecological and their geographical and their historical significance. But yeah, they get overlooked. And this country is full to the brim of these beautiful, beautiful places that aren't the tourist trifecta. Like I said, I have got a bucket list of places that I really, really want to go to, particularly in the springtime. What's not on my bucket list, and probably because I just get tired of hearing about it, is Wadi Rum. I know. No, of course, Wadi Rum is amazing, and of course I want to go there. But there are other places that you can go this springtime. Because I have not been to most of these places on my bucket list, the lovely organisers at Joe Navigators have kindly provided me with all the footage that I need so that I can make this video. Most of these beautiful, green, hidden, off the beaten track locations are in the north of Jordan, which is known for being much greener and a much more agricultural landscape. And the places on this list are picnic locations, places that you can take your family and just go and have a beautiful day out. But they're also on hiking routes as well. And if you are interested in the hiking routes, then do get in touch with Joe Navigators. Joe Navigators is an outdoor community that aims to develop and support local tourism, reintroducing outdoor culture with a hope to change. Number one on the list is Qais, a place that I have actually been to and just blows me away every single time. I want to go there. I want to live in Qais. It's so beautiful, honestly. It is part of one of the 10 Roman cities known as the Decapolis. I really hope that's correct. Usually it's Arabic words that I'm mispronouncing, which are basically 10 Roman cities that were based around southern Levant. Qais is located far, far in the north, nearly on the border of Syria, and there you have this incredible view across Palestine, Syria, even you can see Lebanon, you've got the Golan Heights and Lake Tiberias as well. It's this unbelievable, sprawling view. And it's not very touristy. It's enjoyed by locals, but it's quite far out of the city. It's about, I think, 2.5 hours outside of Amman. So it's not always the place that people are going to prioritize to go to, but you should, because it's beautiful. There you can find a museum, walking trails, and the beautiful ruins, which are a bit different to Jerash because they are made from a dark stone. It's a very green, very calm location where you've got cows interspersed between these small trees and meadow flowers, and again, these beautiful views. There's also a restaurant there, which is very much worth going to, where you can see across all of the views and sit and have a coffee or have something to eat. Number 2 on the bucket list is Bergesh Forest, which is located between Ajloon and Irbid. And in that forest, you can find plenty of picnic spots and family safe areas. There's also a very well-known trail through there called the Zubia Trail. It's popular in the springtime for obvious reasons, but it's also one of those places that you can visit all year round because it has a different landscape every single season, but it also retains a lot of shade, which is really important for the summer. But in the springtime, it is full of flowers like jasmine and dahnoon. Before we go any further, please go and subscribe. Go do it now. Waiting. Number 3 is and Nimel. This area became so popular a couple of years ago when some influencers posted the locations. And I remember it was around like the post-COVID restrictions, something like that. And I remember seeing videos of all the traffic going down there. And like the locals must have been so confused about what was going on because suddenly like all of Amman just flooded the area. The locals must have thought the world had just turned upside down. But I am still very much influenced, and it is still on my bucket list because the place in the pictures looks like Teletubby land. And I just want to go there so I can take a picture and be like, this is Jordan too. Number 4 is Pella. Pella is actually just down the road from and Nimel, so it's worth exploring the entire area. There are many well-known hikes in this general area, including the Jesus Cave hike, which is where Jesus, peace be upon him, hid in a cave, and you could actually go there. And it's a genuine coincidence, but Joe Navigators actually do a trail from the Jesus Cave down to Pella, and they stop at and Nimel on the way, so you can hit all the hotspots in one go. When you arrive at Pella, there's a bit of a climb to go up to the Roman ruins, which are also part of the 10 cities, the Decapolis. But I've heard that it's actually towards the back where the temple is, where it's actually worth all of the effort. There is also a guest house nearby called Beit el-Fanan, a place I've always wanted to visit. It means house of artists. And it's basically a resting point. If you're tired of the noise of Amman, people want to get out of the city. It's a popular place for that. It's also a good place for if you want to hike in the surrounding areas. You can get to know the locals and just be right in the middle of all of the nature. Number 5 is King Talal Dam, which located between Ajloon and Jerash and just 30 minutes outside of Amman. There's really no excuse for not visiting it. It's a really expansive area, great for picnics, great for hiking as well. The dam is across the Zirka River, so it's also a really rare expanse of water that you don't often see here in Jordan. Apparently the walks around King Talal Dam are really safe for children too, so it makes it a really ideal place for a last-minute trip outside of the city without much planning involved. There's also a really lovely restaurant nearby called Tel Rumman, which I have been to many times, and it's really family orientated. You've got outdoor seating and indoor seating. It's beautiful in the springtime. They've got a little playground there and just places where your kids can go and leave you in peace. Number 6 is Dana Biosphere. So finally, I'm taking you far from the north, way down south to Dana Biosphere, which is a nature reserve that I think is really overlooked just because it's so remote. And it also doesn't have the appeal of, you know, in springtime everything turns green. It's not really like that. So I feel like it kind of falls between two stools. It's also 2.5 hours outside of Amman. But springtime is probably the only time that I would want to go to the biosphere, because it's closed in the winter time, and in the summer it would probably just be too hot. Sitting 2.5 hours to the south of Amman, it has a completely different geographical landscape to Wadi Rum, Petra, the north, Irbid, and all of those areas. And I've heard nature enthusiasts say that it is the most beautiful place in Jordan because it is so diverse. They've got 4 distinct different ecosystems because of the 4 different altitudes. And they've got canyons and wadis, and honestly the photos that come from there, they just look like nothing I have seen before. Even with places like in Wadi Rum, you could be like, oh, okay, it reminds me of places in the States and things like that. With Dana Biosphere, I've never seen anything that looks like Dana Biosphere. As tourism at the reserve is kind of geared towards hiking, you can find a lot of very basic guest houses in the area and a lot of guides to help you. And there are also trails that you can take based on difficulty rating, but you can do those by yourself. Honestly, there are so many places that you can go for picnics and hikes and just to soak up all of that beautiful springtime, especially before Ramadan starts, because like if you're fasting, you've got this small window now. But I hope that this has given you guys some inspiration and some ideas of places that you can go and has busted those myths that Jordan is all, I don't know what I keep doing with my hands, that Jordan is all beige and sand, because it's not. So take care, guys. Peaceful picnicking and happy hiking. And I will see you in next week's video. Ma salame. Bye bye.